Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, we are live in Los Angeles. Sunny and warm Los Angeles, iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. Jeff Garcia is coming up this hour. Three-time Super Bowl champ Troy Brown, former Patriot, will be joining us this hour. Joey Taylor is joining me right now. Joey, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Good. People coming up to you, probably. People coming up to me now and saying, who do you like in the game? I had a speaking engagement yesterday. One of the things I talked about in my life covering sports, this has always been true. The fear of losing more often drives successful people than the joy and the jubilation of winning. I covered Jerry Tarkanian years ago at UNLV. He could remember every loss in his career from 20 years earlier. The timeouts, the missed shots. Wins for Jerry just became blurred. Tom Brady talked about losing to the Philadelphia Eagles, and it sounds a lot like what I believe to be true. The losses hurt more than the wins are great.
All these losses are tough. I mean, every one that you've had, you'll remember these forever. But certainly because it happened, just a year ago, you still remember some of those emotions as opposed to, 12 years ago when we lost in 2007. And I think, if you get to this game and you don't perform your best and you don't perform well enough to win, you kick yourself for the rest of your life. And I don't think anyone wants to go through that. The whole point of this week is to win the game. And if you win it, you'll have something to celebrate for the rest of your life. And if you don't, it'll be some mental scar tissue that you have to deal with for the rest of your life.
Yeah. The losses hurt more than the joy you gain from wins. Emotional scar tissue. People keep coming up to me and saying, hey, who do you like in this game? And I say the same thing. It's hard not to like New England because let me give you over the last 3 years with these same players mostly. Sony Michel's obviously a nice new dynamic running back for New England. Last 3 years, they've scored 34, 30. These are just the playoff games, folks. These are just the playoff games in the Super Bowl. 34, 36, 34, 35, 24, 33, 41, 37. That's against the best coaches, best defenses. They are averaging 34 points and 471 yards. A little more if you count Super Bowls and divisional because they have a bye before each. But here's the thing. Sean McVay and the Rams are 5-1 in shootouts. When you think of the Rams, you think shootouts. They're uniquely built to win shootouts. And one of the things I think people are forgetting, Las Vegas, their opening lines in all the casinos, the Rams were favorites. They had to shift the line because now 83% of the bets from the public, the masses, are on New England. But the opening line was Rams favored. When people say, who's going to win the game, I say it's hard not to take New England, but the brand of the Rams is high-scoring, winning shootouts. They're 5-1 in games in which both teams score over 30, and Vegas had them as the favorites before the overwhelming majority of the public and the public money came pouring in on New England. I think this is interesting. There are obviously different ways to win in sports. There are certain principles. Hard work wins in every league. Draft well. Don't overpay for players. Works in every league. But I do think it's very interesting what is happening. Boston is considered really one of America's academic cities. It's the home of Harvard, the Sloan Analytics Conference, MIT, 50 universities. Boston, all their sports have been early adapters, very analytic driven. Now, I'm not saying they don't go get stars, Kevin Garnett, David Price to the Red Sox. I'm not saying they won't go get an occasional star. They're facing in this Super Bowl the Patriots from Boston. Los Angeles. Now, I'm not saying Los Angeles doesn't care about analytics. The Dodgers are very analytic driven. But the Dodgers go out and get Manny Machado, Manny Ramirez. Rams are star-driven. We all know about the Lakers, LeBron, through the years, Anthony Davis. What we have, not only in this Super Bowl, But what we're seeing now in the big three in America, Patriots, the academic city against the Rams, glitz and glamour. Red Sox just played the Dodgers in the World Series. And the Celtics, favored to win the Eastern Conference, were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. And here goes Los Angeles adding, and they will over time, Anthony Davis and maybe more stars. There is more than one way to do it. And what's interesting to me is that Belichick is really the perfect fit for New England. No such thing as star treatment. Tried to trade Tom Brady, wanted Gronk out of town. He's perfect for Boston. Their analytic-driven culture over stars. And Sean McVay, similarly, is perfect for Los Angeles. He's one of the stars. He's one of the guys. He's very pro-player. Peter King told a story yesterday. He lets his young quarterback sometimes override him on the biggest plays of the game he did against the Saints.
The original play, you watch Brandon Cooks go up, now he goes out. And that play, Brandon Cooks was supposed to go in. Before this play, Jared Goff had told Sean McVay on the sidelines, I'd rather have Cooks go out because I think there's going to be too much traffic in here. I don't want to layer the ball over Cooks. I want to fire it to him. And McVay goes, well, not what I would call, but I trust you. Let's run it that way. And McVay told me on Friday, that is a perfect example of what I like to do. I want my players to understand that I'm going to listen to them. And if they make sense with what they want to do, I'm absolutely going to consider it. This was an example of why players love playing for Sean McVay.
Players in New England tolerate playing for Belichick, who squashes personalities. Players love playing for McVay, who's fostering personalities, who wants Wade Phillips, who's got a big personality. Their punter's cool. I listen to my stars. I'll take Ndamukong Suh, Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib. So what you're seeing, Boston does it their way. I mean, heavy analytics, they'll dip into stars reluctantly. Los Angeles, they'll do analytics too, but they love their stars. Both are working, and both coaches are perfect fits for the cultures that have always embodied their cities. Good to have you in today. Jeff Garcia and Troy Brown will be stopping by. Anthony Davis Lakers stuff is, there's just a whole bunch of information out there. I don't trust a ton of it. I said this to start the show. A lot of times stories break and they're exciting and they're fun, but I have sort of a kind of a low trust level on what I'm reading and what I'm hearing. All you need to know about Anthony Davis and LeBron, this is really all you need to know, is that in September, Anthony Davis signed with Clutch Sports, who represent LeBron. Check. That was the first thing. Then Anthony Davis, and you knew it was coming, had to announce eventually to his team, I'm out. He just did that. Check. The third part of this, and I believe this will come probably sooner than later, is Anthony Davis saying, I'll only play for the Lakers. 2 out of 3 boxes have been checked. I'm told the Lakers would like to get this done sooner than later. Trading deadline's coming up, February 7th. I'm told they'd like to. I'm also told by people I trust, they love Kyle Kuzma. They still really, really like Lonzo. And they don't want to give up everything because they worked hard to draft, scout, and build these players in this roster. And they like this roster. They just want another piece. So I don't buy this. They're giving up everything to get Anthony Davis. I don't think they should give up everything to add Anthony Davis. I think they should fight like hell to keep Lonzo Ball and either use him or use him later to get another piece, preferably an elite shooter. So a lot of information out there. I'm not saying it's all misinformation. I'm just saying I don't trust a lot of what's out there. Jeff Garcia, a 4-time Pro Bowler, joins us from the Super Bowl coming up. Big Valentine's Day coming up. I know you could go to the supermarket and buy chocolates. That'll go over great. Or you could do something more thoughtful. Why don't you rethink what a Valentine's gift can be? From Tommy John, The most comfortable men and women's underwear on the planet. Unexpected, but genuinely needed. Redefining comfort, men and women. Feather light, moisture wicking, no pinching or bunching. They've sold over 6 million pairs. You're looking for a Valentine's Day gift? They have limited edition loungewear and underwear, matching his and her sets. Last year, the limited edition collection sold out in less than a week. So don't wait on this. Tommy John has the best pair you'll ever wear, or it's free guarantee. Don't love your first pair? Full refund. No excuse not to buy a gift. Limited edition Valentine's Day gift sets. TommyJohn.com code HERD, 20% off your first order. HERD. TommyJohn.com code HERD, 20% off your first order.